Alright guys, I should also mention, this is not an instructional video or anything. There's a lot better people to learn from out there, so this is just, kind of watching me work. But it's not to teach you. If you have questions or comments, you can drop those down below and I will answer you. However, as far as the skinning process and how to do it quickly and efficiently and things like that, there are much better YouTubers to learn from. I recommend Coon Creek Outdoors. For one, he does really good quality videos because he does this every season as a means of support. He processes a lot of animals. He's got thousands of pelts under his belt. So, if you're looking for literal educational instruction, I recommend Coon Creek Outdoors. There's a lot of good ones out there. He just comes to mind right off the top of my head. So anyway, I've had to adjust a little bit since I don't have my gambrel. I'm just hanging by one leg, and get me another pair of gloves and kind of get started. And of course it's warm. We have flies because winter, of course, hadn't happened yet. December and we have days nearly 80 degrees. It's kind of ridiculous. But I know there's some of you guys out there that absolutely love it. I really wish it was a bit colder. Now I do have a ground cloth on the ground to catch any drippings from processing this animal. My teeny tiny buck. Well, apparently isn't all that sharp at the moment. See what I mean? Why this is not an instructional video per se. It takes me a while to get started. It's not something I'm very fast at or efficient at because I don't really have a lot of these under my belt. Until a few years ago, the biggest thing I ever skinned was a rabbit. Rabbit and squirrel. I've been a small game hunter for years, but not big game. It's hard to cut. Of course, this knife used to be a razor. And of course, I go to use it today, and it's not sharp at all. You know what they say, dull knife will cut you faster than a sharp one. So I'm just gonna, it's sharp enough, it's just not honed to a razor's edge the way it was. I probably used it on something and neglected to resharpen it before I put it away. Let that be a lesson. Got to maintain your tools. She's working. Just kind of slow. I'm not so sure I want to save the tail. You know what? We're going to switch to this stainless steel Mora. We'll see how we do with that. This is factory edge, by the way. This knife's never been sharpened. Because my carbon steel gets used, my stainless steel really doesn't. If you do watch Coon Creek Outdoors, watch how quickly and how efficiently he goes through these animals. It's just mind-blowing. So much experience and so much to learn. He makes it look so easy. Not really sure how much of this I actually need either. I don't put a lot of stock in using legs for anything. I know it's probably good for small projects. Now the tail is also an issue, because I do not have a tail stripper. Something I've never had, which makes it a little more of a pain. You have to be so careful. Gloves are safer, but they're also more dangerous. They keep you from picking up diseases from the animals, but they're also more apt to slip or allow you to slip with a knife. And that can be a tragedy. Well, for time's sake, I'm trying to go a little quicker than I normally do. And I've got a hole there, which I really don't want. What I'm really most interested, though, if I can make it happen, is making sure this part of the hide or this part of the pelt is as pristine as possible. Because for me, that's going to be mostly my usable area if I'm using it for crafting purposes, which is completely and fully what I intend to do. sure wish I had a tail splitter, I tell you what. This is dangerous. One slip and I go right through the meat of my palm.
And it defeats the purpose of... Are you videotaping?
Yeah.
It defeats the purpose of keeping your hands sanitary if you're going to pick up your phone with your gloves on.
Yeah, but I can sterilize the phone too. It's iPhone.
You need to sterilize the phone.
I'm just going to give it to you.
No.
But yes, I'm taping now.
It looks so fat hanging upside down.
It is a fat one. Nice and chunky, that's for sure. See, I don't know his name, but the guy I was telling you about runs the YouTube channel Coon Creek Outdoors. He'd have been through half a dozen coons in the time it's taken me to do this. Slow and steady wins the race, though, right? If you're new, it's going to be a time-consuming process. You'll watch other guys just blow through this so fast, and then it comes to you and you're like, man, I don't know how they do it. But once you've skinned as many animals as these guys have skinned, you start to learn real quick how they do what they do. As quick and easy and absolutely effortless as they do it. One thing I have to really focus on that I'm real bad about, if you'll notice, is I cut and then I take and I'll try to start pulling and doing stuff without laying down the knife. You really got to lay down that knife, because if you slip, you're going to stab yourself, impale yourself, or something worse. It's not a pretty picture. This is why, as I said, these videos are not to teach you. I'm not an instructor in no way, shape, or form. I like the YouTube videos. Gives me something to do, keeps me active, keeps me outside. I could be in the house vegging out to Netflix right now, but because I need to have content on the channel for you guys outside the day. Now, I've got this tail split all the way down. That tail stripper, I'd be done. I'd fly through this, the stripping of the tail anyway. When you do the tail, pull and push at the same time. We didn't get all of it. We got part of it. That's why I need my gambrel. Okay. That's not so bad. See, I had to cut a lot of this. This, though, that came a lot easier than the side that I've got the tension on, and usually that's not the case. Usually the side you got the tension on is easier. I just don't have the speed because I don't yet have the confidence, you know? I also don't harvest pelts to sell. I've said that, I think, before in other videos. These are for my own personal use. They don't go to fur buyers or anything like that. So, personal use for me. So I'm not worried too much about having a hole in a pelt here or there, anything of that nature. Because quite honestly, if I get enough this year, I mean, I'd like to have a couple of coons to make a pair of mittens out of, or maybe a nice warm hat. Love to have a couple of coats for the same exact reason. I've got the one coat that I did on videos for you guys a few years ago, and it's still in the house. Man, this coon has so much fat on it. It was a very, very fat animal. I was watching Coon Creek Outdoors, and he was talking about hand pulling these animals. He has a system where he uses a machine to do that. If you have to hand pull them, he said grab them like this, and then instead of trying to pull straight down, roll your fists, roll upward in the hide as you pull down. And it does make a difference. Gives you a lot more leverage. So I'm glad I was watching that. Because as I said, definitely not an expert. Down to about the front legs. This is where, for me, it really starts to kind of suck. Now, see all the trauma? All this? This is a roadkill coon. Okay, this is not a trapped coon. It is trapping season. I can buy dog-proof traps around here, but honestly, I'm trying to really figure out when the hell I'm gonna have time to run a trap line. I've got so much going on, and I'd love to have a trap line running. Really would. Just not so sure I see it happen. I already get up at 4 a.m. and leave out to work about 5:30 and don't get home till a lot of times after 7 p.m. And by then, I'm wore out. So, trap line might kind of be out of the question. I'd love to run down to Orscheln's Farm and Home, pick up some DPs, and get them out on the river. Do a little river trapping this year. They sell the traps, but they don't sell the setting tool to set the traps. Go figure. So I have to order a setting tool. That's where I have to come in, decide how much of this I want to save, for sure what I'm doing with it. Because I'm not so sure I need to worry so much about saving the face, you know, the eyes and all the stuff like I usually do. like I did on the other coon, like I did on the coyote. Now this is the part that gets the most nerve-wracking, is if you're wanting to save those things. Because if you're going to make a serious mistake, that's generally where. The one part of the animal you really want to save. All right. 4 limbs here. Now, just in case anybody wants to know, yes, it is perfectly legal to pick up roadkill animals that are fur bearers, as long as you have a fur harvesters on you while you're picking them up. Now, it's not like a driver's license where you can say, yeah, I have one, I just left it at home. Because if they catch you out picking up fur bearers, if you do not have your permit on you, you're in trouble. It has to be on your person. Just like a driver's license, supposedly, but, you know, driver's license, they just give you a $10 fine and send you on your way. Because you are a licensed driver, they can research that and they can find out that, yeah, you do have a valid state-issued driver's license. But not so with fur bearers. If it's not on you, you could be in some trouble. So, if you're picking them up, always make sure you do in fact have it on your person. Really struggling on these arms. There we go. That one's released good. The sharpening steel will give you a little bit of leverage. As long as that holds. The trick is just to cut through the membrane, right where the skin is rolled. You don't want to go too deep. This is part of what makes me slow at this process. Nervous. Because I don't want to cut too much too fast. You do get faster over time. I've got as much as I care to save right here around the wrists. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that through and pop those right off. See that little butt knife, like I said, I love that knife. It's gotten a lot of use for skinning. But this Mora, stainless steel, never been sharpened. It shows up from more than I've in Sweden, sharp enough to do this right out of the box. It's one of the things that I do like about a Mora. They've got a good edge on them straight away. Really makes me nervous bearing down on this. Where the whole thing's gonna snap on me, break the line, and have a whole coon come down on top of me. So, you know, kind of sweating bullets right now. Trying to keep yourself clean and keep urine, feces, blood, and tissue off of your face and off of parts of your body that aren't protected. Because, you know, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Can be. Especially if animals in your particular area, for some reason or another, are known to be less healthy. Like there's something going around. You got to be so careful. I should be wearing a face shield. But as hot as it is out here, I pretty much imagine if I was, it'd be fogged up. Right in here, I've got to be real careful too. Mess around, cut the interior and exterior jugular veins. Cut a little too deep. Gonna have one hell of a mess real quick. Shallow, very, very conservative cuts. At least for me. Should be to the ears. Yep, right there. I know the camera angle's bad. If you're wondering what maybe she was talking about, was so I could kind of defeat the whole purpose to be wearing gloves and have everything as sanitary as possible, and then you get covered in goo and touch your iPhone. But I can sanitize that as well, and that's precisely what I'll do. She didn't know I was recording. All right, ears. There's one thing I don't like about the gloves. It's slick. Makes things a lot more iffy and hard to hold on to, honestly. Which only adds to the whole process, making it a little more intimidating, a little more frightening. All right. Down past the ears now. Get through this little bit of tissue. This is where a mechanical way to pull this would be so fantastic. Easy around the throat. Just the membrane, not into the meat. We definitely want to miss that jugular, like I said, because I sever that, every ounce of blood this animal's got in it is going to come pouring out all over my hands, and that's only going to make the situation a lot more slippery. So yeah, first time you guys do this, hopefully you'll be able to do it quicker than I am. But it's time consuming, at least for me. And when you watch these guys do it, and as Coon Creek Outdoor says, he can have one done in 2 minutes. If he's doing a video for demonstration purposes and showing you what you should be doing, it takes him twice as long. He can still do it in 4 minutes flat. But it's not going to be that way if you're new. It's not going to be that way for you. And that's fine. Nothing to feel bad about. Nothing at all. It'll come with time. Eyes. Those can be a royal pain to get right. If you don't get them cut exactly right, they look deformed. One comes out bigger than the other. Aesthetically, it's not as pleasing. However, if that were the case, remember, it's a pelt. You can sew it. If you put a hole in the back of the pelt, right here, you can sew it. If it's for your own personal use, there are things you can do to repair a pelt, just like you would a piece of cloth, and make it look nice. All right, second eye, forehead, getting down the nitty-gritty now around the jaws. You know, I was watching Coon Creek do this just this morning. I apologize, I don't know his actual name. But I was watching him do this just this morning and thinking, you know, I've got some hides under my belt. I'm not exactly new. So just watching his process and everything, surely I'll be able to do this a lot quicker today. Guess what? No. Not at all. Pulling the face. That's where a machine comes in real nice and handy. Especially around the top jaw, around the teeth, the lips, all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of downward force. And these guys are using metal cables and pulleys. Which I, of course, do not have. Love to have a setup like that one day. All right. Down to the nose. And off she comes. Whew, moment of truth. Turn her out and see what we got. May look fantastic. May look like absolute crap. Yeah, not bad. Like I said, missing a little bit of the end of the tail. However, as I said, it's personal use and for my own purposes, I can go ahead and pull it off and I can stitch the two pieces together. You'll never be able to tell it was even like that. We do have the face, and the face come out nice. And of course, you get the nose, and you get the eyes, and you get the whiskers. Legs, I don't really care about. I don't really care. Now, honestly, for myself and my own purposes, I may go ahead and split this coon straight up the middle and open it fully up, just as I did the other. But, you know, I'm not too sure about on that yet. That's a nice pelt, though. And, you know, it's warm now, but it's been cold. And the fur is good and prime. I mean, it's not the best, for certain, but it's definitely not bad. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you made it through the video, if you did make it through this video, thank you so much for sticking with me. I love that. And I've got some faithful followers and some subscribers who will certainly watch till the end. And if you did, it's very, very much appreciated. Okay, guys, questions or comments, hit me up down below. Don't forget, if you like the video, you'd like to subscribe to the channel, reach over there and hit the subscription button for me. It's kind of tiny. It's down in the bottom right corner, but it is there. Ding the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload future videos. Questions, comments, hit me up. Hit like on the video if you like the video. If you don't like the video, have a couple, okay? Grow a pair. Hit that dislike button. But if you're going to dislike my content, get down in the comment section. Tell me why. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one.